Hi, guys, and welcome to the Marc the Shark MMA show. Appreciate you guys watching me here on my Twitch channel. And don't forget, please follow me. If you happen to have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. And also make sure you follow me on my social media accounts, including the Marc the Shark MMA show, YouTube channel, the Marc the Shark MMA show, Facebook channel. My Twitch channel is Marc BJJ Fighter. And my Instagram is Marc_Retorto. And don't forget, it's Marc with a C and not a K. And don't forget to visit the website where you can sign up to be a guest, you can sign up to become a sponsor, or you can shop. Get fabulous hoodies and t-shirts like the one I'm wearing right here. Not too shabby, right? And also you can make a donation. And also don't forget that I also have a podcast that comes out either on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podbean, pretty much everywhere. I have a new episode that comes out every Friday or Sunday, depending on how the week goes. And then I'll be here on Twitch every Saturday. So make sure you watch me every single Saturday on this channel. All right, guys. Stay tuned and watch the show and enjoy it.
Recording. All right, guys. We're back on the show. It's at A. We got Zane back on. Go over last night's UFC 252. What's going on, Zane? How you doing?
I'm good. It was a couple of good fights. I really wish that the main event was a little bit more definitive, but still, I feel in all, it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'm sure we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. All right. Let's start, I guess, with the first fight on the card with John Dodson fighting
Dodson.
Marib. I don't even know how to say that last name.
Yeah, they get a little bit difficult, but I felt it was a smart fight by, well, I think Dodson, he tried, but he was a little bit, I guess, hesitant in, trying to take, what's his name, Daniel?
Yeah, the opponent's name was
Panetta.
Marab is his first name. I don't know how to say that last name. The Valishville, I don't know. He trains with Matt Serra. So.
Oh, okay. I was actually getting the wrong person. But yeah, I'm sorry. Marab. So, sorry, I was actually looking at the name. So, but John Dodson, he's super fast and athletic, and as you can tell, watching the fight, he was extremely difficult to hold down or at least to take down. And guy is like a cat. And with someone who's so, I guess, naturally athletic, he kind of ran into a wall with, I guess, what, that kind of a little bit herky-jerky style the other guy had.
Yeah, Dodson's very fast.
But he's kind of also traditional. Like some people who come in unorthodox or herky-jerky or just, kind of, they don't have maybe like the smoothest boxing punch and very traditional. When you come in and you have no idea, where the punches are going, and he just moves around, and the guy's built like a tank. That guy, Harab, I mean, he's just built like a tank. I don't know how he makes that weight. It's just incredible.
He looks like huge compared to Dodson.
He looked like he was 155 pounds. He was definitely just a big guy. And, it seems like, all right, he'll get one or two punches in, but then now he presses you up against the wall, tries to take it. Just a grueling fight, I felt, for Dodson to, to kind of come back to. What I feel that he should have done, Dodson, is to, keep those punches in his face. I mean, obviously the guy can move. So I think a message all across the board to every fighter is you have to take the fight. You can't step back and, kind of point fight, or, you can't just wait for the fight to come to you. You have to, take the initiative, and you have to take control, and you have to set the pace. And I think judges and other fighters, when they see someone pressing forward, setting the pace, getting in your face, choosing where the fight goes, they're going to lean towards that person and give them the victory.
Yeah, that's true. And what do you think of the next fight with Daniel Pineda and Herbert Burns? I mean, there was a lot of grappling going on in that one.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but Burns, well, I mean, I'm sure you do know this, Mark. I mean, he has the relationship where he's the younger brother of a former, I think title contender, right? Was it his older brother that was a title contender? Was that
I don't know.
correct?
You thinking of Gilbert Burns? I don't know if they're related. Are they related?
They did. I think that might be the younger brother.
Oh, so that explains why there was a lot of grappling going on.
Well, I
Till he
mean,
got pounded out.
yeah, I mean, the guy is decorated. I mean, they say that he's like, I don't know if he's a world champion, but I think he's decorated in the jiu-jitsu world. And I think you can tell that from the way he was fighting. He was very, like when he actually got the other guy down, that guy, Daniel, when he got him down at some point, he wasn't ground and pounding him. His style was more, I'm just going to stay very, very close and, do traditional jiu-jitsu. The
Yeah.
other guy, I think was a little bit more, he incorporated some MMA style into that fight. But sometimes that's what happens. You get a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, and they're like, I don't need to punch. All I need to do is what I do best, and I'll win the fight there. But he was unable to. I don't. Also, Burns came in heavy. Did you know that?
No.
He
I
lost.
didn't realize that at all.
Well, no, it's okay. He lost the fight, number one, and because he was heavy, the other guy got 20% of his purse.
Oh, he didn't make weight. I didn't catch that.
Right, he didn't make weight. He came in heavy, yeah. So
Wow.
it was, I think it was like 3 or 4 pounds, but still, number one, it shows, hey, you're supposed to be professional enough, especially having a relative who was, high-level competitor in the UFC. You should be used to this stuff before. But maybe the guy was, it shows professionalism, number one. And then I think that he also looked a little bit soft, I felt. I mean, he was in better shape than I was, but coming into, UFC, you better be ripped. You better be tight. And I feel the lighter weights, it's just expected that everyone just looks like they, that they just
There was
stepped
a lot
out.
of grappling going on, though.
Well, the thing there
in the
was
beginning.
I think it was pretty even. I felt as far as stand up and grappling. I mean, there was and all, I actually I felt that there was a very decent amount of grappling. It was just that these guys kind of canceled each other out a little bit. But Daniel was able to say, all right, you might be slightly higher than me, but I'm gonna punch and I'm gonna soften you up, because the guy came in. I think Burns came in soft. Not soft. I would say he came in a little bit softer than maybe he should have, a little bit less in shape. Maybe he was too confident. I don't know. But I actually enjoyed the fight a lot. I felt it was a very high-level fight. And, and I just I think that it went to the fighter that was more ready. And, I think that he was able to take the fight out of Burns. I think that he eventually – and the crew, what a grueling win. I mean, Mark, I don't know if
his
you
face
saw
was
it, but
cut up, even though he won by, hitting him with elbows. I mean, the fight was the second round, but Daniel got cut up a lot. You saw his interview, his face was cut up.
Yeah, but did you see how he lost? I mean, the crucifix. I mean, to lose.
Yeah, that's what. I remember watching it. I'm like, damn, that was like. I mean, he could knock it out of that crucifix. That was like perfect. But I mean, even the winner, Daniel, his face was all like bashed up from round one or whatever.
Yeah, he hit him with a really good shot, and it was his left eye. I guess it was a good right hand that he caught him with, and I think it cut him. And it was kind of funny that Daniel actually looked a little bit worse than Burns. But it was just like you said, it was the way he lost. I think the way he lost, it was like, wow, that's a really frustrating way to lose when you're in that position and you feel absolutely helpless. So
I'm wondering if it was more because of exhaustion, because I mean, I know he was in a crucifix, but it's not like if he had his back and he had his arm tied up with the legs. But, I mean, I mean, a lot of people do win by crucifixes, but I'm wondering if it was more exhaustion, or do you think it was he just couldn't do anything? What do you think? You think it was because of the exhaustion?
I think it was a combination. I think he knew he was getting hurt, and he just exhausted every little bit of strength that he had to try to get out. And then eventually his body probably just gave up, and he said, that's it. I'm just going to get really, really hurt here. The next couple of punches is going to, really put me in. So I think he knew he was done. I think every fighter knows when they're done. They say, oh, you can, I'll never give up. You could break my arm. I was like, no, people give up. They give up.
There's always something, right?
Yeah, it's a lot different when you're in the ring.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the next fight with Junior Dos Santos and Rose. First off, I gotta make a comment. What'd you think of his mustache? What do you think? I was thinking of who was that guy that looked like Tom Selleck in the old UFCs? What was his name?
I forget his name. But
he was small, like he was about 180, and then he blew up when he went to Pride. I just can't think of that game. He trained under Mark Coleman.
Yep.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly who you're talking about. And
I can't think of his name right now.
It's on the tip of my tongue right now, but he was an old timer. He was back with the first couple of UFCs, but I think he could have just shaved it. Like it's
Don Fry. Don Fry. That's
Don Fry. That's right.
I saw that mustache. I'm like, this guy looks like Don Fry in a porn movie, dude.
Well,
that distracted me. I was actually paying more attention to his stash than the striking. But I mean, what'd you think of the fight? I mean, Rosenstruck. I mean, come on, the guy. I mean, I think that guy's he's got to get a title shot soon. I mean, he won. He beat this guy who was a former world champion. I mean,
he's a kickboxer. He's a stand-up guy. And what happened was, I don't know if you remember, he fought Ngannou.
Yeah.
And he lost to Ngannou and Ngannou made it was like it was the reverse. Rosenstruck knocked out Junior Dos Santos once he got a clean shot. It was over. And Ngannou did the exact same thing to Rosenstruck, the exact same way. And I think that there's a difference in power. And I think that, and we've talked about this before, medically, going back to knockouts, they say that when you get knocked out, that you're more susceptible to getting knocked out quicker the second time, because your insides, they go through trauma. So I think that, Junior's been knocked out before.
Yeah.
I think that and also too, he was, I think you can also tell the hesitancy of a fighter, the very, that cautious fighting. Rosenstruck didn't seem like he was as concerned getting hit by Dos Santos as Dos Santos was with Rosenstruck. So I feel that Junior probably respected his power a little bit more, and he kind of showed like he was a little bit more fearful to get hit than Rosenstruck. So I felt that once he got hit, he kind of, he was a little bit standing up too much. When you're throwing a punch, you can't throw, if somebody else throws a punch at you, you can't just run away or just stand up straight or just power. You got to have your eyes open. You got to slip. You got to move. You got to, and I just felt that Junior, I don't know, he's a little bit too cautious. So once he got hit, it kind of took the fight out of him. And then it was actually a couple of short right hooks that were straight to the face, and it was over. It was over kind of quick.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good fight, but I just kind of remember seeing Dos Santos on an Ultimate Fighter. I kind of remember him being like, he seems like a really nice guy. He seemed to be a little bit too nice to be in the UFC, like to be a fighter, right? But
you know what? There's been a lot of nice fighters, a lot of a lot of really, really great fighters that I just liked very much. I mean, George St. Pierre for a really long time.
Yeah,
He's a super nice guy, and and kind of leads into our next fight. I like Sean O'Malley. I can't wait to talk about that fight.
Yeah. But one more
But,
time, do you think that Junior is done, or do you think he's going to come back again?
I hope that he just says, you know what, I'm kind of far away from a title shot. I mean, he had a couple good punches in the fight. He looked in shape, but
Yeah.
I just feel that his time has passed, and there's no reason waiting another year or two and then losing a fight, winning a fight. I mean, if it's one thing, sometimes, fighters, they just do it for the money and they're bored and they have nothing else in their life. But I mean, if you're someone that's on the level of Junior Dos Santos, I mean, you got family and gyms, and you got a name that you could do anything. You could open up, you could say it's Juniors. You can open up a burger joint and everyone's going to, this is the best burger in the world because it's Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he could, open up a gym and have, some sort of UFC gym or MMA gym, wherever he wants, and he'll be successful. I mean, he doesn't need to fight anymore. We know that.
Yeah, I think those brawls he had with Kane just took a lot out of him. Those two matches he had with him. Now we get to the one that you really want to talk about, right? You got O'Malley in there.
I like O'Malley.
And I mean, I think he was undefeated going into this match, right?
I think
I'm not mistaken.
Were both of them undefeated? I actually don't know if they were both.
I know. I'm pretty sure he was undefeated. I know that was the first time. Just so everybody knows, he got knocked out. I think, what was that, the first round?
No, I think it was the second round. I think.
No, it's TKO. I think it was in the
Was
first
it the first round?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it being really quick. Yeah.
Because I thought it went to the second round, but I could be wrong. But
yeah.
You do know what the injury was, right?
They said it was his foot. They hit well, here was the question. Joe Rogan even brought it up. Not Joe Rogan. Former champ. What's his name? They were speaking.
Dominic Cruz?
Yeah, he was mentioning that he had an injury before, a foot injury, that he had to take time off before. So they don't know if if the injury came back, or they don't even know if it's the same foot. But it looked like when he fell, his foot went a weird way.
Yes, I believe that it's the same injury. I don't know who he fought with the same injury, and I don't know if he lost that fight. But I do know that he was either faking or going to go for a shot or whatever he was going to do. And when he went to step with I believe it's his right leg, when he stepped, it kind of, the foot, like the toes buckled inward, and he rolled over the ankle. And it really, I think a lot of the pressure
looked painful. Yeah.
And he tried to hide it, but I mean, I'm sure that you've had those, sometimes, you just go to step, your knee buckles, or sometimes you go to throw a punch and your elbow buckles, or your shoulder. You get these little internal injuries and no one knows about it, but it's incredibly painful. And, sometimes, you wish that you can let everyone feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So they know I'm not faking this, this really hurts. And I think that it would have been such an interesting fight because I think Marlon Vera is very, very powerful and a very good fighter. But it would have been a really, really great fight if he didn't have this injury. But I would love to see this fight again. I would love for Sean O'Malley.
Well, I believe that was their second fight. That was the second fight between Marlon Vera and Sean O'Malley.
Who won the first?
Maybe they'll have a trilogy.
Well, what did Marlon Vera win the first one?
He lost by a controversial decision.
Okay, so this was
a lot of people thought that he won the fight, but it went to the judges, and that's what happens. You leave it in the hands of the judges. So you never know. Maybe they'll have a trilogy.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, hopefully O'Malley heals up because he's a very exciting fighter to watch. I like watching him fight. And now we're on to the main event.
Yeah, let's get to it.
What you got to say about that?
I got a decent amount to say about it. I think something, just as far as looks, let's go to Daniel Cormier. Go ahead. Tell me how you felt he looked.
He looked a little heavy.
He always looks heavy.
Yeah, but he always looks heavy. He always looks like, I always say this. He does not look like the athletic beast that he is. He does not look like it. But
he does not.
But
You're
he
almost
is.
embarrassed losing to him.
But he is. He's a very athletic guy. And I do have to make this one comment before you get into your comments. I was actually surprised that he did not cry. Because he cries every time he loses.
He does. He's emotional.
I was actually surprised. And he gave the same speech the last time he lost. So everybody knows he lost the fight. He lost the title fight, just so you guys know. And he kind of gave the same speech the last time they fought, except the last time he cried. So this time he didn't cry. But anyway, Zane, I digress. You can keep your comments now.
I think whatchamacallit, it was more. It was obviously much more definitive last time that he got pounded on, and they had to stop it. So that's why Stipe won.
Yep.
And then the first one, so Daniel Cormier, beat him down. Boom, done. He won the first one. Then Stipe beat him down. Boom, won. But the thing is, Stipe, I think, was kind of losing the fight at first, and then he beat him down.
Yeah.
Now the third one, it was much more even, and it honestly could have went either way. But I think the only reason why they gave it to Stipe is with all the rounds, there was never, except for the second round when Stipe was on top, but there was never a time where either fighter was really in any danger. Yes, Cormier hit him more, I felt. Might have landed some bigger shots, maybe 60-40, given, shot for shot, like who landed more and which were more devastating and who took who down more and stuff like that. But I can understand them giving it to Stipe, because who knows what would have happened if that second round would have continued. Maybe.
Oh, when he had him mounted?
Yeah, because that looked bad. It looked bad.
Yeah.
And I think the round saved him.
Now, I think the other thing is, like, I think that the judges have in their head, you got to have, like, in order to beat the champ, you got to, like, really take it from him.
I think so, too.
That could be it. But then again, it's not like Stipe is like John Jones. Like when John Jones had that one fight, I forget who it was. I think it was his last title defense or the one before that. And people were saying it was kind of even. But then I'm like, yes, but if it's going to be even, they're going to give it to Jones, because you got to prove that you really beat the champ. And then the fact that John Jones has never lost the fight except for one disqualification, it would have to be really decisive. Now, in this case, Stipe, I mean, he's lost before, but I guess, in the judge's mind, they saw something different. Maybe they did look at that one round in the second round. That might have been it. I don't recall the judge's scorecard. There were other times I think he had Cormier against the ropes before that, though, and Cormier was kind of stumbled. He got back to his feet. So I don't know. Maybe that's what gave it away. But Cormier didn't really. I don't know why he didn't. He didn't choose. He used a little bit of his wrestling, but I think he did it more. I think the first round he got a takedown, if I'm not mistaken. Perfect single leg takedown. But then Stipe was able to get back up, and I'm really surprised that he didn't try to wrestle him more. I think he should have done that more, considering he's, I think he was on the Olympic team, or he almost made the Olympic team. He's an Olympic level wrestler. I think he should have done a lot more wrestling. I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion.
I understand what you're saying. I truly feel that there were definitely more than a couple of times that Stipe put him up against the cage. And some people feel like, oh, look, he's controlling him. But Stipe really didn't do that much when he was up against the cage. And plus, when they broke, half the time, Cormier was able to get a good punch in. So I don't really, there's sometimes judges or coaches they feel that, oh well, this was an advantage, and I'm like, not really an advantage. He controlled him, and maybe because he kind of controlled him and set the pace, you can say that. But I don't know. There wasn't any real damage. He was just kind of holding him, and even Cormier said that. Even Cormier actually admitted, he's like, yeah, he was able to hold me up against the fence and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, so he didn't really do anything. He was kind of, if anything, just kind of resting. So, but I do feel, now thinking about it, I'm like, well, it was probably right. Number one, he was the champion already. Number two, he might have gotten hit more, but there was that second round, man. I have to say that was the only time that, you could say like, oh, I should have let that go, and he probably would have lost. Like, that's where my money was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say John Jones coming up to heavyweight, if that's actually going to come, come true. I think that would be a very interesting fight. But also Ngannou.
Yeah,
I think
that's who I was going to say. Should probably get the next matchup, right?
I absolutely think that Ngannou against Stipe, the rematch, Stipe is going to have a really hard time because I'm still not impressed by Stipe's punching. And I think if either, when you look at Ngannou and Stipe, I think that Stipe would probably, if he was able to, stay off his back, if he was just for the next couple of months, just do nothing other than wrestling and just avoid the takedown, then he's got it made. That guy, no one hits like him. He knocks down heavyweights, big, strong heavyweights, like the middleweights. Like, he slaps them, and it's like one shot. I'm talking like lifts you up, knocks you down, and like you're in for like a month of a recovery after you get hit by him. Tyson's got nothing on him, man. I'm telling you, it's like, I don't know. It's got to be worse than a Tyson punch. It's just the crazy power that guy generates it's just amazing.
Well, hopefully we get that dream matchup. All right, Zane. So that's it for today. Appreciate you doing this UFC recap with me. Hopefully we get to do another one real soon. All righty?
Absolutely. Take care, Mark.
All right, guys. We'll be back after this short break.
All right, guys. We'll be right back, but first a word from our sponsors.
During World War II, I was in prison in a Nazi camp. I died there, or so I thought. Instead, I became a creature of the dark world. Now I fight to protect my daughter. I am Marcus the Vampire. The book is now available at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com and RetortoFamilyBooks.com.
All right, guys. This week's episode is done on a live show. But if you happen to be listening to this in a podcast format, keep listening because there's more content to follow. All right, guys. See you guys next week.